Welcome to another episode of Q&A Sunday. I'm Rich Dallas with Berkshire Hathaway, the Dallas-Fincham team, and on today's episode, we're going to talk about home inspections. This came up as first-time home buyers were going through the process, and they really wanted to just dial in the process of what was going to happen, so I figured I would share it with everyone else. Okay, first let's talk about the three most common home inspections that are selected by buyers in our market. That would be home inspection, pest inspection, and radon inspection. There are a number of other options that you can pick. You can pick deeds and zoning, you can pick insurance, you can pick surveys, you can pick a bunch of other things, on-lot sewage. I mean, there's a bunch of other things that you can pick as a home inspection or as your due diligence timeline would allow. Those are the three most common. I'm going to tell you a little bit about each one. Home inspection. What they're looking for when they do a home inspection are safety items. They're looking for things that are going to be a concern either today or in the future. They're not looking for cosmetic scratches on kitchen countertops or cabinetry. They're going to make note of that, but what they're looking for are safety concerns and major concerns that you would want to know about your house that you're about to buy. The pest inspection. Those are looking for, again, not all pests. They're not looking for rats and cockroaches and things like that, although they will note if those things are existing. However, what they're looking for are wood-destroying insects. That's going to be carpenter bees, termites, things like that. So those are those two. And then a radon test. Radon is a gas that is trapped in the rocks below the surface, and it escapes through the air. If you were to put a radon test out on the street by your mailbox, there's going to be a radon reading. Now, here in Pennsylvania, we test the radon in the basement, the lowest level of your house. And the EPA for Pennsylvania suggests that the radon levels be below 4.0. There's like a CPL, like parts per million, whatever, after that, but it's 4.0 here in Pennsylvania. So what does that mean? All right, so let's just talk 2 seconds about that. And basically, if the radon comes in anything under 4.0, you don't need to have a radon mitigation system. If it comes above 4.0, as a buyer, you have the right to ask the seller to install a radon mitigation system or to ask for a credit so you can install the system down the road. Now, what that system does, they drill a hole into the concrete of your basement floor and they connect a pipe to it. It almost looks like a downspout. But it's going up, and what it's doing is sucking the air from the basement subfloor out and evaporating it into the air and getting it out of your house. I have seen levels as the house I sold personally in Harrisburg had a level of 56. Now, around here, it's more common for it to be in the, 7, 8, 9 to anywhere 25. So when people see those radon levels, I tell them not to get worried because, again, like I said, I had personal experience with 56. When we put a radon system in and retested it, it brought it down to 0.9, from 56 to 0.9. So if your radon comes in at 7, I guarantee you the radon system company is going to be able to get your levels below 4.0. And again, you can research all you want about radon. I'm not here to talk about radon. I'm not a radon expert. I am just letting you know what the regulations are, and that is a very common home inspection item that comes up. And it's a concern for some buyers because, once you research it, you'll find out what radon is all about. Now, the process. This is what my buyer, who is a first-time home buyer, they're an awesome couple. They just put an offer in on a house and they wanted to know step by step what we are going to go through. And so here's a real quick rundown of how it's going to work and what you should expect. As a buyer, here's how the process is going to go. First, obviously, you have to have your house under agreement. Now, why would you have to have your house under agreement? You have every right to inspect a home prior to you putting an offer in. But if the seller gets another offer while you're messing around doing home inspections and this and that, you could have invested $500 in the home inspection before you get an offer accepted, or you could offer something that the seller's not willing to accept and they're not going to take your offer anyway. So it is always best if we have the house under agreement. So house goes under agreement, you schedule the home inspection. Next, you have the home inspection. You get the report from the home inspector, and your home inspector should also copy me as the agent or whoever you're working with. They're going to copy the agent on there as well. So you're both going to get the report so you can go through it together. If your agent doesn't get the report, make sure you send it to your agent so they know. Next, you're going to review it with the agent so the two of you can kind of come together with a plan, because we go through it every single day. You might be freaked out about a few things on there, or you might want to ask for this or that when this and this are far more important, and we can guide you through that process. But really what it comes down to is what's important to you as a buyer, as a client. That's what we're going to be most concerned about. And again, we're going to focus on the safety items and the major concerns of the house to make sure that it is a structurally sound, nice house that you're moving into, so you know what you're getting into. So next, after you review it, you put together what's called a BRI, which stands for Buyer's Reply to Inspection. You send that over to the seller. The seller has a chance to look at it, and they can do a couple of different things. They can say, yes, we'll do everything that you just asked for. They can say, no, we're not doing anything. Or they can say, we'll do A and B, but we're not going to do X and Y. So then there's another negotiation period. So that would be the next step. After you submit it to the seller, there's a negotiation to come to a conclusion of this is what we're willing to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a repair. It could also be a credit. So the seller could offer, hey, you know what? I don't want to do any of these things. I'm just going to give you $5,000 and you deal with it after you move in. That's very common. So the last step is we put together what's called a CTA. So that is a change in terms to the addendum of agreement of sale. And what that does is that solidifies everything. So the BRI is what we're asking for. The CTA is what is actually agreed upon. So if it's a credit, we'll put the credit on there. If it's repairs, we'll put the repairs on there. Everybody signs off on it. So there is no question of what the seller is going to do and what the buyer is going to expect when we go to the home for the final inspection. Once we go for the final walkthrough, that's where we're looking for, did they do the repairs? We're obviously going to be getting receipts from everything as they do the work, but we're also going to look for it at the final inspection, before the closing. So that is a real quick rundown of the home inspection process. So again, the three most common inspections are home, pest, and radon. And then the process goes: schedule the inspection, have the inspection, get the report, review the report, send over a reply to the sellers, negotiate with the sellers, and then finalize everything on one piece of paper and get it all wrapped up. So I hope that was helpful. If you have any questions that you want answered on a future episode, please put them in the comments below. Reach out to me. My number is 412-965-6387. Reach out to somebody on my team and we will get it in a future episode. Look forward to talking to you soon. Have a great day. Take care.